and that could spark a massive explosion in the retail sentiment, could unite the crypto community, and really make it feel like 2021 all over again. Now, why should you take my advice for it? Well, I actually called out the AMC squeeze at $5 back in 2021. Even better, we called out the GME squeeze in April before it went to 80. This was before Roaring Kitty tweeted, before anyone was talking about it. I believe the stock was at $16 a share. So I know what I'm talking about. I've been there. I've done that. We've been able to survive these markets over the past 4 years, and we're focusing on high quality names. Now, leave a comment in the section below if you still hold stocks like GameStop or any of the other meme stocks in 2021. If you moved on from that way of trading, let me know what you're making money on. Now, everyone wants to know, is it going to squeeze? Is it going to break the all-time high? So now we've laid out Fibonacci levels. All this is going to tell you is where the stock has struggled historically and where we could potentially see resistance. 40 and above range is going to be very hot. So let's just put that psychological number 40 plus, always hot for GameStop, at least for this year to date. I think if we snap 28, can melt really quick to 38, 41 range, but then it really could struggle there. Now, if I just get rid of this really quick, we actually noticed that the line 28.70, 28.50, somewhere in this level here was extremely hot. This was the time where everyone thought it has the ability to curl to finally break this downtrend, but then it got smacked all the way down. So this is going to be a huge level for us continuing this uptrend. As we could tell, something similar like that can happen as we noticed in this period, right? So we want to be cautious of that. But also, when we go on the 4-hour chart, we have to understand that there were different ranges in the extended hours. Big level that we see is 65 here. That was the reattempt at the all-time high. The next would be 48.78. That was sort of that pivot there. Had that one huge rip and then came right back down. And then really the big one for us to get started, for us to make it feel real, I think would be reclaiming somewhere in that 30 to $32 range. I think that is the big level there that we want to reclaim for us to actually feel legitimate. Right now, it could sort of sit flat. It goes up a little, down a little, right? It has to break out. It has to actually have some accelerative factor where there's an increased demand in buying. And we haven't really seen that since June. So this is pretty much beginning of June here. It has not traded on the north side of $31. So this is pretty much a 3-month resistance right there at 30.92. Call it 31, whatever you want to call it. But we saw it test that level previously back in July. So we had a huge rejection after the run to 80. It came down, it rejected this once, it rejected it twice. And next time we test it, we want to make sure that we break it out and we don't just repeat history like it has since June. Now I want to take a quick look at the options chain today. A massive inflow of call buying compared to puts, 168,000 versus 52 puts, over 221,000 today. Very, very high volume again in the chain. This is for September 13th. We see mass amount of volume, but also open interest here on the 30. So there was over 15,000 open interest. Another 15,000 came on top of that. Over 10,000 at the 25 slot, 11,000 at the 24s. And again, you see over 9,900, pretty much 10K at the $45 strike. So clearly we're back to that sentiment, that massive hype and anticipation behind the name. And then when we look on the short interest, we're noticing just shy of 10% of the float is short. It's around 35 million shares compared to the cap structure there, somewhere in that 300 million plus range. Okay, and that number has been way higher in the past. We saw upwards of 25% plus back in May. Absolutely massive, almost 70 million shares short. And again, that is the time in which the stock exploded. So now I think a lot of people, publicly, institutions, even retail betting against this knows it's just not a good idea. You know, if you want to bet against the stock, buy some puts, put a very small amount of money to the side that you're willing to lose, call it a day, you know, or even have it as a hedge if you're going long, that's fine. But to actually short it with infinite amount of downside just doesn't make any sense to me personally. So let me know in the comment section below. Are you someone that's bullish on GameStop? Are you going long, possibly buying calls? Okay, so I want to keep it short and simple there. If you're enjoying content on this page, please feel free to let me know. Consider smashing that like button and subscribing. Like I said, we're going to provide more content like this. All you have to do is let me know what you want to hear in the section below. Besides that, have a fantastic night. And as always, we'll see you in the next one.